7 period apprentice, 7, 8 period apprentice. And out here in California, you're making close to $40 an hour, which is pretty good. Had benefits, all kinds of stuff. It was great, but it wasn't the life I wanted to live. I was working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 14, 16 hours a day. Even if I'm working 8 hours a day, I got to drive an hour and a half to work, and I got to drive 2.5 hours back to get home. It would take me 2.5 hours to drive 30 miles out here from freaking West LA to where I live. That's not my life. So I told myself, cool, I'm going to go back to construction. I told my mentor, hey, I'm not going to really work solar like this. If I get a deal or two, I'll send them your way, help me work it. But I'm going to put together this plan. I need to save this much money so I can pay my bills for this amount of time. And then I can really come in and attack this thing the way it's supposed to be done. Because you're going to hear people say, if you're working this half-ass, you're going to get half-ass results. And I'm living proof, because that's when I started doing this. That's exactly how I was working it, half-ass, right? Full-time construction, part-time solar, couldn't go to my installs, couldn't even go to my sits. I couldn't do nothing. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. Set my game plan. Here's my goal. I need to save this much money before I do this full-time and quit my job, so that I cannot worry about I know that my bills will be paid for 6 months. Cool. Came, attacked it. It took, and you'd be surprised how much money you can actually save when you put your mind to it. When you actually write down all your bills, cancel the subscriptions. I went through my list. Okay, I actually don't need this subscription. I don't need this subscription. Forget about Netflix. Forget about this. Forget about that. I don't need that. Cancel. Right? Got my priorities right. And in a short amount, actually, I thought it was going to take me like a year. It took me like 4 months to save the money that I needed to save to quit my job. I thought it would take me over a year. But when I focus, right, JC talks about that, and anybody in any kind of discipline, they talk about that. It's about focus. Can you zone in? Can you just zone in on something and focus on it and just attack it? And that's what I did. Made it happen, quit my job. I came out, and as soon as I came back, I quit my job and I hit solar. I was a fast starter. I came in right away. I went out. My mentor lived in Ventura County. For those of you that are not familiar with the LA area, I live in like by Long Beach. My mentor lived in Ventura County, which is about 3 hours away. I wasn't going to drive 3 hours away to shadow him on the doors. I used to drive a Nissan Frontier. It gave me like 14 miles a gallon. I wasn't going to drive out there. I memorized my script, got my stuff down. Guys, I'm going to be really, really real with you. If you want to get out there, I don't care if it's cold calling. I don't care if it's calling realtors, roofers, doors. You need to get that script down. If you've been here longer than, realistically, if it's taking you over 2 weeks to memorize a script, you're slipping. When I got hired to that first solar job and I still had a construction job, my lady is like, hey, they have a meeting this Tuesday. They had a fast start. Like, they had a legit fast start, and you would win prizes within that fast start if I hit certain things, right? If I generated a certain amount of leads, if I got a certain amount of closes, and they had a thing called pitch perfect, which means that if you went to your first meeting and you got your pitch down, so I got hired on a Thursday. If I went on Tuesday and I did my pitch in front of the meeting, they'd give you $100. I had a full-time ass job. I'm a dad as well. I was a single dad. I called off that day. I called off on that Tuesday. In construction, and you guys ever been in construction, it's risky in construction taking the day off. Especially if you're getting towards the end of a job and they're like, hey, man, I'll call the foreman. Hey, foreman, look, I got to take tomorrow off. Hey, no biggie. But we need that fifth body. It's either going to be you or someone else. So if you can't be here tomorrow, no biggie. Just take your tools with you. And, yeah, man, good luck. You'll be lucky if there's if sometimes there's a lot of work and you might be able to come back into another job site the next day. Sometimes it might be slow and you might be sitting your ass home for a week or 2 weeks or a month, or you might have to just go hop and, look into another company. It is what it is. But I was focused. I took Tuesday off. I went to my first solar meeting ever with my pitch memorized. And I got up there and I got my shit done in less than a week. Right? Because I knew that's what the job required. If you don't have your script down, I don't care if it's doors. I don't care if it's cold calling. I don't care what it is. Any type of prospecting, if you don't have your script down, you can't even work. You can't work. Imagine you going to Starbucks and Starbucks tells you, "Hey man, look, you gotta get this list of 5 drinks down by the end of the week. If you can't mix these 5 drinks by the end of the week, you got no job." Right? Would you guys have those 5 drinks down? I'm pretty sure you would. Right? In construction, it's the same thing. There's certain jobs you can't do. Right? I did finish carpentry, which was like trim, crown molding, baseboards. I did fine paneling. To do some of these jobs, I had to give me a miter saw. That miter saw was over like about close to $1,000. Especially the one I got, it was a corded one, and then I can use it wireless. I could plug in batteries. It was a pretty badass saw. With the saw stand, I had to invest in myself. But without these certain tools, you can't even do the job. Right? If you're gonna do what we're doing, you got to memorize your script. That's your number one tool. Knocking doors, cold calling. And yesterday, as a matter of, and Kip asked about it, I will repost the docs on the door-to-door chat, because JC gave us all the scripts for everything. So there's going to be no excuse after today, right, guys? You got to have your scripts down. Whatever it is that you decide to do, get it down, get busy, because next week, during my call, we're going to be running scripts. We're going to be running pitches. I don't care if it's door to door, that's fine. If it's if you don't do door to door, but you do cold calling or you call realtors, that's fine. Let's run it. But let's practice, because we can't just be doing learn on this. We got to apply it, right? We got to drill for skill, just like we did yesterday in the office. You got to drill for skill. As a matter of fact, in my last place that we worked at, we used to do popcorn. There was a script. We used to do popcorn with the script. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, boom, boom. You do it. Next thing you know, popcorn Mark. Boom, popcorn Johnny. Back and forth, right? Some people would have different problems, slightly different solutions, but the pathway is always the same. There's a path. There's a process to this. Okay, but have your plan. Number one, memorize your script. Again, if you don't have a script down by now and you've been here over a month, you're behind. I can't even lie to you. That's the first thing you got to get down. And memorization is the first step. Then you got to master it. It's like a song, right? Some of you guys can sing a song with your eyes closed and feeling and passionate, right? I write music. I come from a different world. I write my own music. I write my own stuff. I used to record, but I would never give me a recording session and rehearse a song or a verse, whatever that I wrote. I would go into whatever you memorize, master, right? Because memorization, you're just getting it down. You're just like kind of writing it in your head. Once you have it in your head, you're gonna make it you. Don't make it you on the paper. Make it you in your head. Once you have it down, then you can make those edits. Oh, okay, look, my market's a little bit different. My problem, instead of being this, my problem will be this. Boom, boom, boom. You make it you, right? We talked about it yesterday. Making it you. They gave us a skeleton, but now it's up to you to wrap it up and make it you. Mark has a slightly different approach than I do, right? I'm sure Kip will have a slightly different approach than me, Kyrie, so on and so forth. I'm sure everybody has a slightly different approach, uses slightly different problem solutions, but we all got to have something. Right? I've been doing these calls, I think, since June, July. I'm going to be real with you guys. Once I'm like, hey, guys, we're going to run scripts. I'll go from 14 participants. Next thing you know, there's only 8 people on the call. 6 people on the call. And 2 of those devices are mine, because I had my iPad and then I would have my iPhone just so that I can see the chat. So people would dip out. What does that tell me? People aren't ready. You got to be ready. You got to stay ready. You don't got to get ready, right? So now, enough of me talking. Let's share my screen. I've gone through this before, but I go through it again because I see some new people.
Recording in progress.
Look, I have a few of them here. Having a plan, right? Let's see. Let's go to door approach. Door approach, flow. This one's probably my favorite. One of my favorites. Right? Knowing your flow. Going out and knocking on a stranger's door for a lot of people can be nerve-wracking. As a matter of fact, somebody's on this call that I was on the phone with earlier. And they were telling me, like, man, I don't think I could ever do this door knocking stuff. They're a conversationalist, but they're like, I don't know if I can do this door knocking stuff. It's a little rough for me. It can be, because it's true, it can be a little nerve-wracking. What can be even worse, though, is going out there with the random pitch. not understanding the deeper purpose of why you're there and what your roadmap to your destination should look like, right? I've trained people before. The last place that I was with, that I was at, everyone that was getting hired would come to me, and I would kind of talk to them and see where they were at. If they got hired on Thursday, let them know, hey, we're going to go out on Monday. We're going to go hit these doors on Monday. You ready? For sure. Here's the pitch. Get this down. We're going to go over it Sunday night. Don't read it. We're going to go over it Sunday night, and if you're ready, we'll be out on Monday. I had a 2-day process, right? Day one was shadowing. You're just going to shadow me. I didn't tell them that, but I just, I want them to be ready. So on Sunday night, if we went over the pitch and they sound like they had it down, cool, you're ready. At least you attempted. Let's go on the doors. If I saw they told me, oh, I didn't have it down, I didn't have time, well, look, you didn't have time for you, I don't got time for you. Right? Sometimes 10, 8 people are getting hired. I got time for those that had time for themselves. I shouldn't have more time for you than you have for you. That's not the way this shit works. So, sorry, you can't come out with me and knock on Monday. I'm going to take the guy that does kind of almost have it down. And then Monday, we would show up. Hey, we're going to dress like this, wear a black shirt, we're like this, this, and this. We look somewhat, coordinated. We'd pull up. We'd go over the script together, right? Sometimes people, I caught them lying. They would read their script over the phone Sunday night, and I would catch them lying on Monday. Because, all right, let me hear your script. Come on. You ain't got to lie to me. You're lying to yourself. But there's some people that would come prepared. Monday, they would come, and it would be almost down, a little work. But I'm like, hey, we can work with that. Monday would be shadowing. Shadows don't talk, right? If your shadow's talking, we got bigger problems. Shadows don't talk. So day one of a 2-day process, number one is just shadowing. You're going to shadow me. Shadows don't talk. Don't say anything. Just follow along. Take mental notes. Ask me questions. Once we get away from the door and away from the driveway, don't say anything dumb when we're walking up the driveway. There's a lot of cameras that can pick up what you're saying. And I've had reps when we're outside the door say, oh my God, this would be amazing if we get this deal. Bro, shut up. They got these cameras that can hear you, right? Day one, I shadow you. Day one, you shadow me. Day two, I shadow you. But knowing your flow, we can't even get out there if you don't even have a pitch down, right? Some people here are very, very nice. You got a pitch down, you're not even going to come and look at the door with me. I won't even let you near my car door, right? Understanding the approach. Knowing your door approach is good, but I was mentioning it's not good enough. What separates the amateurs from the pros is that one understands the approach, whether it's cold calling again or on the doors, while the other one just recites the words. Understanding why we say things in a certain order will reduce friction and will allow you to take homeowners through your flow at your pace, right? I always tell people it's not about having an ego, but these things are about control. And I saw some, I don't know, I can't look at the chat anymore, but I think I saw a mentor here, but excuse me, guys. But it is about control. And a lot of times we can tell that the mentee or the setter lost control with the quality of appointment that we get. And we'll go into the weeds of that a little bit later. But you do have to be in control. You got to take homeowners through your flow at your pace, right? Being on someone's doors is like playing an arcade racing video game. You have to hit these checkpoints before you run out of time. It's game over. Stages. These are the stages I was talking about, right? Breaking preoccupation, stating the problem, provide the solution, pullback or takeaway, right? And then some people like to have the close and the button up. I like to call it, set the appointment, get the bill. This is my style right here, guys. You don't have to do it my way, but just know that you have to follow this. Instead of setting the appointment, you can, close, get the bill, you button up. Right? Some people like to get the bill first and then set the appointment, and it works for them. That's fine. That's not the wrong way of doing it. This way works for me, and I'll show you guys why. Right? Breaking preoccupation. Are you guys able to unmute? Juan, will they be able to unmute or no?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And anybody here can tell me what is breaking the preoccupation?
Gaining their attention from what they were doing previously.
Man, I like that. Short and sweet. Taking their attention from what they were doing previously. Simple and plain, right? Stating the problem. There's different problems in different states, different utilities in different markets. So identify what problem is in the area that you're in, and make that and sub that into your pitch. It might not be the same as mine. I have people that we knock next to each other, same utility. We state different problems, but it still works. I went out there with David Ramos, and he had his way of doing it, and it was working for him. I had my way of doing it, and it works for me. Providing a solution, switching over to solar, right? But there's a way of providing that solution. Pull back, take away, right? You can't just let them have it all. Yeah, take it away. Setting the appointment. I like to set the appointment first, get the bill. Breaking the preoccupation, right? Pretty obvious. The gentleman just stated, look, people are busy. They're doing stuff. They're cooking. They're washing. School just started again. People are doing homework with their kids. Football season, right? Watching the game. Basketball is going to start. There's a lot of diehard fans out there. Someone's always doing something. You need to take their mind off of that and have them direct their attention to you. Now, even if you're not knocking doors, even if you're just out mingling, right? You're at the mall, you're at the store, whatever the case may be, breaking preoccupation, right? Cold calling, it applies to everything. You need to take people's mind off of what they're doing and bring it to you. What questions? Let me go back here. What the hell? So anybody here, you can unmute and answer these questions for me, right? Some of you guys might have cameras, right, on outside of your home. What questions come to mind when someone knocks on your door? Anybody could answer this.
What the heck do they want now?
And you're being very nice the way you're saying that as well, right?
I don't know. To be honest, someone knocks on the door, like my first reaction is always like bad. It's like the feeling's always not good. To be honest, it's just like always like like unexpected. My paranoia kick in. I'm just like, all right, what's good? So I have to be cautious immediately. So I'm on the defense from the jump.
There you go, 100%. Right? You said you get on defense mode. Gabby was like, "What the heck do they want?" And a lot of people have cameras now. They'll see you. They'll get the alert. They get the alert on your phone. They see you coming. I'm gonna tell you, but in a nice way, right? When someone knocks on my door, who the are they, and what the do they want, right? And if it's a little later right now, like it's starting to get dark later, I might not be going to the door by myself, right? Sometimes people are out here knocking late. You need to answer these people's questions in the first 5 seconds. That's your checkpoint. And anybody that that goes up to your home that's good at what they do will answer they'll answer who they are and where they're from and what they're doing there. They'll answer those questions in the first 5 seconds. I've told you guys before, the guys that are the regulars here, that for my son's birthday party, I ordered a jumper in a restroom, a little porta potty, and I forgot they were getting there a day early to drop it off and set it up. So I was running around doing some stuff. The guy knocked on my door, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" So I go open the door, and he's like, "Hey, my name is Leo. I'm here to drop off the jumper. Where do you want me to put it?" Right? He's not even door knocking like that, but he's there to do his job. He's like, "My name is Leo. I came to set up a jumper. Where do I put it?" Answered my questions in 3 seconds. Right away, I'm like, "Oh, boom. Forgot that I was mad. Hey, come on, let's go do what you were saying." Right? He answered those checkpoints. You need to put people in curiosity mode. What I used to do a lot, a mistake I used to commit a lot when I was out in the doors, I used to put people in information mode. Right? "Oh, I'm here to just give information. I'm here." I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I graduated from that. I'm nobody's information boy. You shouldn't be either. If you want information, basic information, there's YouTube, there's Google. As a matter of fact, you could go onto your WhatsApp and there's a little AI device right there. You can ask questions to. It'll give you answers. It'll give you information. That's not me. You need to put homeowners in curiosity mode. Ask if they're the homeowner. The way I break preoccupation, I hear that I mostly, when I do knock, is in Edison territory. "Hey, what's going on? My name is Johnny with Encore. I'm just following up with the net metering program. Were you guys the homeowners when they came by and they swapped out your old electricity meters and replaced it with that new digital one?" Right? "Who am I? I'm Johnny. Who am I with? I'm with Encore." I don't say Encore Solar. I just say Encore. If I say Encore Solar, they're like, "One of those solar guys." Hey, Johnny with Encore following up with this net metering program. Were you guys the homeowners when they came by and they swapped out your old electricity meter, replaced it with that new digital one? I look at them confused. Like I'm confused. You guys are homeowners when they did that? I do multiple things. Not only do I break preoccupation, I'm also asking them, I'm qualifying, or were you the homeowner when they came by and they swapped out your meters? Because right off the bat, they're going to tell you, actually, I'm a renter. Cool, perfect. Now I go into prospecting mode, right? Referral mode, prospecting mode. No big. Look, this program's for homeowners, but hey, what do you do? Hey, you want to make some extra dough? Which one of your neighbors here? Look, I'm actually the solar guy in the area. You talk to your neighbors. Have you ever heard them complain about their electricity bill? Any of them ever slam their kids up against the wall when the light bill comes in? You know, anybody got an EV? Who do you know? Look, man, pay for referrals for $100 to $1,000, right? Because anybody that's been doing this long enough, I can almost guarantee you, can attest to this. Some people have dropped, and I've done this before. I've dropped one of the most marvelous pitches on the door before, and I didn't ask if they were a renter. And at the end, they're like, yeah, well, I'll talk to the homeowner and see. Like, bro, I just talked to you for 15 minutes. I dropped the best pitch of my life. I can't even do nothing with you. Right off the bat, right off their homeowner. Stating the problem. We all share this planet, but everyone lives in their own fantasy world. It's our job, once we break preoccupation, to bring them into this reality. So much BS going on in the world, we tend to tuck away the ugly, and we don't think about the quote-unquote little problems, right? That's why most people's bills are on auto pay. Most of our bills are on auto pay. And tell you the truth, so are most of mine, right? I don't want to think about that. And it's our job to remind them of the problem that they're facing with the utility and how it affects their lives. No, it's only getting worse. Most people's number one thing on their head, right, is their mortgage, car note, car insurance, right? If kids reside, if the kids are playing sports, taking care of their kids' stuff, if whatever the case may be. And then usually their electricity bill might be, 6th, 7th on the list. But it's our job to bring that to the forefront and remind them, hey, man, look, you got this problem no matter what. Your bill might be on auto pay, but you still got a problem. It's our job to put a magnifying glass on that problem. This is where you want to get them into an emotional state. People have different ways of doing things. Some people want people to just be in a high emotional state to make a decision, stay away from logic. I like to teeter-totter both. I like to teeter-totter and play with both, right? Because we're humans. And I've got people really, really fired up before. They sign docs and never get all fired up. And then next thing you know, they think about it and they're like, cancel. I want to teeter-totter both, but I want to start off getting people emotional. That doesn't mean I want them crying on their doorstep, right? I just want them to get upset and see what it is and see that the situation really is bad. Don't overcomplicate the problem. This is where a lot of people is this solar? Smoke screen. You usually get this because you're over-explaining the problem or you're bringing up too many problems at the door at once. Pick one, maybe two, run with it. Remember, hit that checkpoint. I used to do this. I used to when I was in the doors and I was hearing about different people, different problems. I was talking about like 5 different problems. By the time I got to problem number 2, homeowner's like, hey, this is about solar, huh? Yeah, shit. Yeah, you got me. Shorten that up. Look, man, were you guys the homeowners when they swapped out your meters? You were? Did they ever tell you why they did that? No biggie. Look, that's why I'm in the neighborhood. A lot of your neighbors don't know why, right? Look, most of our power is coming from out of state, right? I'm pretty sure you noticed your bill going up, specifically over the last few years, right? While I'm nodding. Most people will mirror you, right? Most of our power is coming from out of state. What's up, Kip? I see you got your hand raised.
So I am new to all this. I'm definitely green. Like how you saying it, how you said like after the second problem, you already kind of got like, oh yeah, you got me. It's about solar. What am I missing as far as what is the misconception about solar that's already perceived in people's minds? Because like for myself, I mean, I don't think anything was wrong with solar, and that's kind of like why I was like, oh yeah, this is no-brainer for me. But what is your experience on that? What is the misconception that is going on? Is it like other companies that have done bad business to those areas? Or you know what I'm saying? Like what's up with that?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. There's a lot of morons out there, right? Just being recorded. So hey, sorry guys, sorry but not sorry. It's just the truth of it's just a reality. A lot of morons out there, a lot of dipshits, a lot of people that don't care about the customer. If you don't care about about the homeowner, you don't care about the customer, you probably shouldn't be. It goes out to everybody. You probably shouldn't be doing this job, right? And a lot of people are like that. They don't care. They want to make a quick buck. They're going to sell a few deals and they're going to head out. Right now, you can grab whatever's near anybody here. Just grab something, throw it out your door, and you're probably going to hit like 3 solar reps in the head. That's how many solar reps are out there right now, right? And the majority are going to fall off, and the majority of them suck. So people show up. You heard JC yesterday talk about this guy that he was talking to. That the guy said, "Hey, let me pre-qualify you, right? Here, fill out this information and sign the whole agreement for him. Hey, man, you're ready to get installed 2 months later. Installed? I didn't sign a contract. Oh, well, you actually did, right? People like that. So now when you're going and you're talking to people like, hey, man, is this about solar? Yeah. Oh, no, my aunt this, my uncle this, my aunt. Because there's a lot of horror stories out there. But it's our job to clean it up. You know, it's our job to clean it up. But a lot of times, if you do this right, you won't get that right off the bat. I like to personally, in the next step, I like to personally be the one that brings up solar. Just not yet. So I'm like, hey, look, man, most of our power is coming from out of state. I'm pretty sure you noticed your bill going up, right? Specifically over the last 3 years. Yeah, man, it's not that you're using more power. It's that they're charging you more for the same amount of power. As a matter of fact, let me show you. And usually I have this out. Where is it? Well, let's show you this one. This was the latest bill that I was taking a peek at. Right? So look, for example, this is somebody I work with in your neighborhood. Look, their last bill was $1,000. But let's look down here. Delivery. Transmission, distribution, $492. Almost half of their bill was just to get the power to their home. Mr. Homeowner, same thing's going on with you. When's the last time you took a peek at this part of your bill? Right? Some people have never taken a peek at that part of their bill. They're like, what? Yeah, look, this guy paid $1,000, 492, almost half. Sometimes people are like, wait, what? Sometimes I get the bill in this part. I don't even ask for it. Wait, what? Yeah, everyone's bill has this information. Hold on, let me pull mine up real quick. Sometimes you'll get that. Not all the time. Sometimes you will. It's just part of the problem, right? Most of your power is coming from out of state. Yeah, watch. Let me show you. Check this out. Delivery charges. Oh, statement of problem, right? Hit that checkpoint. Get them upset. Get them a little angry. Put that magnifying glass. Now it's time to provide the solution. Now that you reminded them of the problem, you'd be a jackass if you didn't point them in the right direction and help them solve that problem. So we're solution providers. We're not negative Nancy's. I like to present the problem in what I like to consider a non-salesy way. Super nonchalant, right? Make it like it's no big deal. Don't overcomplicate the solution either. Don't overcomplicate the problem, but also don't overcomplicate the solution. It's very easy. This is where I want them to briefly think logically, right? I take them through that roller coaster through my journey. I'm the one in control. Someone might disagree with me. Look, manipulation is okay as long as it's not paired up with deception, right? A good coach is a good manipulator. He knows how to put people in the right place at the right time. If you play basketball, if you played sports, you know how to put people in. Hey, man, you think you're not a receiver, bro? Get your ass over here. You're gonna block. You know, manipulates. Now, when you're deceiving somebody, that's wrong. Deception is wrong. Manipulation is okay as long as it's not paired up with with malice. So that's what we're doing. We're manipulating the situation. I want them to think logically here. I want this to make sense to them, right? You got a problem. You're upset. You realized it. You saw it. Now let's make this make sense. Hey, man, look, most of your power is coming from out of state. Look, man, what we're trying to do is generate power here locally. I'm sure you noticed a bunch of the solar popping up all over the place, right? Yeah? Yeah, come here. Somebody, if I can, I try to take them off their doorsteps. We're humans, bro. We're animals. We're animals. Same thing as a dog. You take a dog to a dog park, they're the nicest animals in the world. They'll socialize with other dogs. Anybody can go up to them. You're petting them. They're amazing. Everything. As soon as you get that dog behind that gate, back in its house, back in its territory, dog's vicious. Same thing with humans. You say what's up to me out and about, we're cool. As soon as I get behind that gate, the animal instinct comes in to protect and to hold it down. You want to put that guard down. And sometimes if you can get them off that step, you put their guard down a little bit more. So look, man, what we're trying to do is generate power here locally. I'm sure you noticed a bunch of the solar popping up, right? Your tonality says it's no big deal. I'm sure you noticed all the solar popping up, right? So all over. Watch, come here. Look, they just put that one right here. Your neighbor, California, there's solar everywhere. If you go down the street that doesn't have solar, maybe it's like a very bad utility or something. But even those, almost there's solar everywhere. I'm sure you noticed all the solar popping up, right? Look, man, your neighbors aren't hitting the lottery. The way it works in California is as long as you're the homeowner, you get enough sun hours and your house qualifies, you get to generate your own power right on site. And that's how you get to eliminate these charges right here. Pretty simple, right? Right. That's my solution. Nonchalant, especially if I'm in an area that's kind of like, lower middle class, right? If I'm in an area that's the hood. So look, bro, we're in Santa Ana. These people aren't hitting the lottery. That's the hood. People aren't hitting the lottery. If they're hitting the lottery, they wouldn't be living here, right? We're trying to do is generate power here locally. The way it works, as long as you get enough sun hours, your house qualifies, you get to generate your own power right on site. No money down, no money out of pocket, no liens. There's even no debt options, bro. There's already fully funded programs. The only catch, right, is that your house does have to qualify. Only 1 in 4 homes qualify. Only 1 in 6 homes qualify. Right? And that's where you transition from the providing the solution into the pullback or into the takeaway, whatever you guys want to call it, right? But again, we made it make sense. State the problem, show them, damn, that's crazy. Provide the solution, make it make sense. Look, man, no money down, no money out of pocket, And I even had somebody tell me, look, bro, your neighbors aren't hitting the lottery. This is the way it works. And I even had some guy tell me, damn, bro, that makes sense because my neighbor's a cheap ass. There's no way that he paid for paid for solar. I had some guy tell me this. Yeah, man, we've been trying to put a brick wall between our fence. We have a chain link fence. And I told the neighbor, hey, we should go half and build that brick wall, but he doesn't want to do it. So then he's like, yeah, my neighbor's a cheap ass. There's no way he's paying for solar and doesn't want to pay for the brick wall. So people start to talk a little bit, right, to get comfortable. But it's a non-salesy way. Simplify it, right? I bring up solar. I'm the one that brought up solar. I didn't wait for them to bring up solar. I brought it up. This is where people start. I used to struggle because this is where you start to get some of those good objections, right? But amateurs don't like objections. Professionals do. Are you a pro or are you a Joe? When I wasn't ready, this is about solar? Yeah, man, like I said. See all your neighbors doing it, right? Oh, man, well, no, we've already looked into solar. No, we're good. Is where you start to get some of these. Oh, really? How long ago did you look into it? Oh, 5 years ago. Oh, okay, come on, bro. A lot of things have changed, right? Why did you look at it? Why did you look into solar in the first place? This is where you start to ask those questions. One thing that's very important, guys, and take note of this, is called, it's very simple, but it's an open-ended questions. You want to ask questions that are open-ended, that trigger conversation, that trigger a response, that trigger dialogue, right? You want them to talk to you more. You don't want to be just the one talking and doing your spiel. The one that talks the most is not the one that's winning. So if you're just doing all the talking, they're just waiting for you to shut up so they can tell you no. You got to be talking, but engaging them, showing them. Again, like JC said yesterday, you don't want to stand in front of them with the Captain America pose, right, looking like a riot police, right? You want to put your arms down, be relaxed, and if possible, you can show them some stuff. Like when I show them the bill that I just showed you guys, by then, I'm usually next to them side by side. You don't want to be a riot police with a riot shield in front of them, right? That triggers tension. You want to be cool, calm, collected, and hey, by this you want to be in that nice that cool frame of mind. Time for the pullback. That's something good I was going to say and I forgot. pullback, right? Seamless transition from providing the solution to the pullback. Well, I was talking about open-ended questions. You want to ask open-ended questions. For example, for the problem, right? Right here. When I ask, I didn't say, hey, look, this is why your bill's going up. I didn't ask him, hey, have you ever noticed this? That's a yes or no. I don't want a yes or no. I'll ask him, hey, when's the last time you actually took a peek at this? You know what happens? They'll say, I never have. Some people that say, oh, I never have. You know what happens when they say that? For me, I feel like it raises my status. Because they just admitted that they didn't know and that they've never looked at this. And I might even kind of rub it in a little bit. Really? You've never looked? How long have you had an Edison bill for? Oh, 10 years, 15 years. And you've never looked at this? Wow. Right? It's kind of assholeish, but it just raises your status and it puts you in a zone where they're not in. Right? Not in a bad way, in a good way. Like, oh man, this guy knows his stuff. He knows more than me. They're subconsciously putting themselves there. Like, oh, this guy knows more than me. And they'll start to listen a little bit more. You just taught them a little something on something that they've had for a long time. Provide the solution. Are you a pro? Are you a Joe? Get ready for these objections. Know how to handle these objections. Very simple. A lot of times the way to handle these objections is with asking questions. Oh, I've already looked into solar. Really? When's the last time you looked into it? Oh, this long. Okay. Why did you look into it in the first place? Right? What was it about it that you didn't like? Oh, it was very expensive. Oh, so somebody came and showed you this crazy loan amount? Yeah. Oh, bro, there's no debt options. Now I know that I'm going to pivot to a PPA or a lease. They didn't like a big loan amount. They just want a lower bill. Right? So there's a lot of these little things, a lot of keywords, a lot of key things that go into play that help you identify these things as well. You should be taking notes. You should be taking notes. You should have some type of door knocking app. When they're telling you all this information, especially if you're not closing your own deals, you got to be writing all this information down. That way you bring it over to me or to David or to Luis or to Calvin, and you're giving them all this information. Hey, this guy looked into it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. He didn't do it because of this. He said that the loan amount was too high, so on and so forth. If you bring that information over to Calvin or to myself or to Jabari or to whoever's closing your deals, and you bring them over that information, they're going to know how to go into that. They're going to know how to attack that. They have way more ammo. Right here. Let's see. So this is my door knocking app that I use. All right. Spoke to Jesus. Bill is over $200 renter, but knows the homeowner. Right. So you gotta just take notes, and that way, oh, this person, $200 to $600 bill. Son is an idiot. Doesn't want to do solar. Yeah, the son's a moron on this one. His son works for solar. He's a solar installer. He thinks he knows it all. Right, but you got to take your notes. So that way, when you're done, you get off that door, you bring those notes over to the closer. And if you're the closer, you know how to come and attack it. The pullback. Now that you provided the solution, you have to take it away and let them chase just a little bit. This is the part where I let them know that they're a good candidate, but I can't promise you anything. You may not qualify. Out here in California, you need to have an HIS license. So I'm always knocking. I got my lanyard, I got my ID, my HIS. And I use it. Right? I'll tell a quick story of someone that got disqualified. Quick story, not a Harry Potter novel. Quick. Something I used to struggle with. I used to, as you guys can see, I can be long-winded. And I had to learn from some of the introverts in solar how to be able to answer some of these questions in like one sentence. I'm a wordy mofo. I love people. I can talk. If you guys haven't noticed. But there's some other gentlemen, other people that I would work with, a little more introverted, but they were still very good at what they did. And I would ask them, how did you handle this objection? And they're like, bro, you're just answering it way too long, right? You're telling novels. And I had to learn that. Like, stuff that I'm telling you is stuff that I had to learn to get real good.
We call that selling it and buying it back.
What was that?
I said that's selling it and then buying it back. You talk too long.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So now it would kill me a lot. I'd shoot myself in the foot. So now this is part you tell a quick story, right? Reaffirm that I'm there to help, and that I was there specifically for that. I tell people too, I'm not even going door to door. I came here specifically because, right? So when I'm knocking, look, man, your neighbors aren't hitting the lottery. The way it works, as long as you're the homeowner, you get enough sun hours, your house qualifies, you get to generate your own power right on site. Therefore, you eliminate all of these crazy delivery charges. Now, I can't promise you anything though, because I don't even know if your house will qualify. But the reason I came specifically to your house is because you do have a good looking roof and you do get a bunch of sun hours. I know which way the south side of the house is, guys. If you don't know, look up on your iPhone or your phone or something, or get a compass. I'll point at the south side of their house. I bet you that side of your house gets really hot, right? Specifically during these times. I bet you that side, yeah, it does. I know which side of the house gets hot, guys. That side of the house gets really hot, right? Right. Yeah, man. I'd actually put, and I start talking about it, I actually put the majority of your panels on that side, and anything that don't fit on that side, I'd actually put it back on this side, because this is where you get the second amount of sun hours, right? Look, man, I'm not even going door to door. I'll pull out my HIS. Look, I'm a licensed agent here in the state of California. I'm not going door to door. If I was going door to door, I'd be out here the rest of my life. And realistically, guys, I'm not going door to door. I only go to certain houses. That's a different training I taught about before, is how to map out an area, how to target an area, how to focus in an area, and how to plan to knock an area. I don't just go out there and start knocking. I scout my areas the day before, the night before, or the morning of. I pin certain houses, and I go knock those houses only. And once I get a deal, I'll show up for the site survey, and then I'll knock the neighbors. And then I'll go, and the people I didn't get to talk to, if I have a main panel upgrade, I'll show up to the main panel upgrade, and I'll knock the other neighbors that I didn't knock the first go around. And then for the install, again, I'll go back and knock it around. And then every other week or so, I'm there knocking that install. So, but that's a whole different training. But I let them know, I'm not even going door to door. The reason I came to your house specifically is because you do have a good looking roof and you do get a lot of sun hours. And that's why I'm here. If I was going door to door, I'd be here the rest of my life. I don't got time for that. Like I said, look, I am a licensed agent here in the state of California. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm not allowed to promise you anything. Okay. What we do is very simple though. And then we transition to the appointment. Might be asking, Johnny's talking all this and he's giving us all this. He hasn't even asked for the bill. Because I don't need a bill yet. I'm still building rapport. I'm digging for more information, right? I know a lot of people with a lot of bills, but if those don't transition to appointments, it doesn't even matter. You just get stuck with a bill. I'm stuck with a few bills at appointments I couldn't set. I still got bills from like 2 years ago, an appointment I couldn't set. Bill's nothing. Bill's okay, but I want that appointment. Asking for the bill too soon can put a dead stop on a great approach. It can feel pushy if it's done wrong, right? Like I said, man, you do get a lot of sun hours, but that's why I'm here. I said I can't promise you anything. But look, man, before we even go farther into this, what's your low bill even look like? I like to start with the low bill. What's your low bill? Low bill, high bills, everything's about perspective, right? I said this before, but this is true. Low and high is different for different people. I've had people that lived in the same house for 30 years. Remember when they used to pay 15, 20 bucks a month? Now they're paying 90 bucks and they think their bill is high. For them, it is high. It's high according to them. And then I've had other people say, oh, my bill's not that high. Really? Well, what's your low bill? Oh, my low bill's like 200 bucks. Really? That's a low bill? Well, yeah, it's because we used to live over here and our bill over here was 500, 600 bucks. Okay. It's higher than what it is now, but your current bill now is still a high bill. Right? So I don't like to ask people don't know their average. Most people don't know their average bill. Right? So but it's a lot easier. What I noticed, a lot easier for people to remember their low bill and their high bill. And then what's your low bill looking like? Right? Write this stuff down. This is where I start to get an idea of what type of bill they had. If I see the bill is high, I'll bring the pay back out. Oh, my bill's about 160 bucks. That's your low bill? Yeah. Look, I've been talking to a lot of your neighbors, and your low bill is actually higher than most people's high bill, right? I almost don't even want to ask you what your high bill looks like. You might ask me for some money, right? And I do have, cool, I'm trying to make a little joke out of it. Cool. Dig on that paint. Man, that's your low bill. What's your high bill? Your high bill, 300 bucks in the summer? Damn. How long have you had that problem for? Give me a second, guys. Hey, let me call you back. I'm actually doing a workshop right now. Okay. Okay. See, my lady, she held me down. Hey, don't forget to take your food. Don't take this. Don't take that. Perfect. That's why. And she sold 2 policies. She's actually in just car insurance. She just sold 2 policies. Okay, left. But yeah, I don't just like to ask low bill, high bill, cool. No. How long have you had that problem for? Well, we just noticed that we're just going out, or we just got an EV, or man, it's always been high, but it's just getting higher, right? How bad are you gonna let that problem get before you fix it? Right? Or how bad are you gonna let that problem get? Again, open-ended questions, right? Intrigues dialogue. Once I have all this ammo, then I'll transition to setting the appointment. This is probably one of the most important parts of your whole approach. It's time to compose yourself and go for the appointment. You got to get your Sade on. If you don't know Sade, you better Google her right now and go on YouTube. Sade Smooth Operator, right? It's where a lot of reps start to lose control. And they lose the leverage that they worked very, very hard to earn during the whole approach. Because if you do what we're talking about right now, if you do this right, you're going to be the one that's in control, right? You don't need to be an egomaniac, but it is about control. If you let them control the date and time of the sit, you're working on their time. You need to work on your time. You need to work on Calvin's time. You need to work on Jabari's time. You need to work on my time. Whoever is going to be the one closing, and you need to work on your time, right? You don't call the doctor and say, hey, doctor, I'm going to show up tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning so you can see me. Doctor will tell you, that's cool. You can pull up if you just want to kick it. We got no time slots open tomorrow at 8:15. No one's going to see you. Doctor will tell you, if you want to be seen, you got to show up on Thursday at 10:45. You know, you got to see it the same way. If you allow a homeowner to set the appointment on their time, they'll feel very, very comfortable rescheduling, canceling, and ghosting your ass since it's on their time. It's their time. They can do whatever they want. I always give them 2 options. Hey, man, the mornings or evenings work better for you? Evenings? Okay, perfect. Look, evenings, I don't care if you don't have a calendar, guys. You better pretend. You better go back to kindergarten and pretend that you have a calendar. Let me see. Okay, perfect. The way I like to transition to that, what's your low bill? What's your high bill? Wow, look. How long we have the problem for? Okay, look, man. What I do is very simple. All I do is put together a solar report for you, right? I'll show you current situation. I'm going to show you where you can be. And then I'll actually show them. I'll show them this. This is a real live situation. I'll show them one of these. Look, this is one of your neighbors that I helped out. This is their situation. They're paying this much for their power. Average bill was $253. With us now, this is what their new bill is, right? If this was your kid, right? If this was your son or your daughter, and they're moving into a house and they say, hey, mom and dad, these are the 2 options that I have for electricity for this home. Which one do you think I should go with? Which one would you tell your kids to pick? The one on the right, of course. Right? This is what I did for your neighbor. Now, I can't promise you the same thing because I don't know your situation yet, but that's what we'll do. I'll put together your situation. I'll do the same thing for you, put it side by side. If it makes sense, I'll show you how to take the next steps to see if your house qualifies. If it doesn't make sense, at least I know where to come for the next carne asada. Sounds fair? Cool. Right? I'm micro closing in there as well. Because I already showed them what I would be and I have them pick. Which side would you pick? Left or right? And I personalize it. You know, if your kid's asking you which option to pick for their new house, what option would you advise? This one, right. They've already picked me before we even sat. It's a little micro close. It's a little bit more in the advanced side. You don't have to do that, but okay, perfect. So look, what I'll do is I'll put this together for you. Let me see. I'm actually gonna be talking to one of your neighbors tomorrow at 4:30. I can swing by after. I can come by at 5:15 or at 6:45. Which one works best for you and your partner? You and your partner. Oh, well, you know, you just come with me. My wife doesn't want to sit through this. Excuse me, Mr. Homeowner, Mr. Guy, Mr. Macho Man, Randy Savage. Yeah, bro, look, that's not going to work. I do need both of you. I'm going to be real with you, man. If I sat down with the solar representative or any representative without my wife, I know she'd be flamed up, bro. Right? At the end of the day, I make the final decision, but she wants to be part of it, and she might have questions that I don't have. So I do need both of you. So if tomorrow doesn't work at 6:45, when would she be available? At least to introduce myself and say hi to her. Have her ask her questions. She can ask her questions in the beginning, and then once her questions are answered, then we can proceed without her. But once I'm there, but I do need both of you guys here. Guys, it's super important. I don't even know if Calvin's still in here, or if any other closers are still in here. But if they were, I can't look at the chat. I don't want to look at it right now. But they tell you, right? They don't want one-leggers. Those are called one-leggers. We don't want one-leggers. We don't want wobbly appointments, right? If you got one leg, you're wobbling around. We don't want hobbly appointments. We want solid appointments. Solid appointments are when you stand with two legs firm on the ground. Okay. There's very rare cases. I've closed a few one-leggers, but those are very rare. And sometimes it's more a cultural thing. I've worked with people where their culture, where the wife makes certain decisions because the husband trusts the wife to make those decisions because he has other responsibilities that he takes care of. He doesn't consult with her with those other things, and vice versa. But you want both of them. When's the best time for you and your spouse? 6:45. Okay, perfect. And put that in my calendar. Do me a favor. Put me in yours as well. It's where you solidify, guys. Solidifying the appointment. Make sure if they have a calendar, you have a calendar? Put me in your calendar. Perfect. Get the rest of the basic info you need. Perfect. Tomorrow, 6:30. Put me in your calendar. What's a good phone number? Just in case I get stuck in traffic and run a little bit behind, I give you a heads up. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna send you a text also with the with appointment confirmation. Here it is. Remind them how important your time is. Okay, perfect. Now that I got your info, what's a good email? Just so that I can customize your design. It'll ask me for a unique email. Okay, perfect. Look, okay, Mr. Homeowner, I got you locked in. We sure you don't have any recitals tomorrow? You don't have any back to school nights? You don't have anything like that? Right? Because look, the worst part of my job is when I have to drive an hour to someone's house. Guys, I don't care if I'm walking to their house. I don't care if they live 2 minutes away from me. They don't know where I'm coming from, right? Oh, who knows? Maybe I had another appointment out in the valley and I have to drive to Orange County. The worst part of my job is when I have to drive over an hour to someone's house and I show up and they're not there, or even worse, I knock on their door and they shut the lights off. It's not going to be you, is it? I'll press them. I don't care. I'll press them, and you got to be comfortable doing that. And some of you got to get comfortable doing that to family. I had to get comfortable doing it. At first, I didn't feel right, but I had to learn that sometimes your family will ghost you. If you guys have been doing it long enough, it's happened to you. So you got to put your foot down. Your time is important. No back to school nights, no recitals, no nothing that we might have missed, no sports. No, perfect. Okay, so you and your wife are both. Is she inside? You want to double check with her? Okay, let's double check. I'll go through that extra step. I'd rather get it out the way right there, right now, and not put them in my calendar than put them in my calendar and then, oh, sorry, I forgot. My son had a game. Let's avoid that. We're good? Perfect. All right, lock me in your calendar. Like I say, if anything changes, please let me know in advance. Okay? As you can see, I'm super slammed. I'll show them my calendar. My calendar is slammed. Look, Mr. Homeowner, my calendar is slammed. If anything changes, please let me know in advance. That way I can have someone else fill that time slot because we're super busy. Perfect? Perfect. Okay, thank you. I want them to commit to giving me that time slot, not to making a decision on the solar. When you're on that door, when you're on that phone, when you're on that whatever it is that you're doing, you're not. That's where Jabari comes in, right? That's where Idris comes in. Myself, the Davids, the Luises, Calvins, the closers. We have a lot of badass closers out there. Hans. That's where these guys come in. The Mark Stewarts, they come in and they'll close it. When you're on the door, your job is to close that appointment, to get that time slot in that calendar, and to make it solid. That's our job, right? You need to make a decision on the solar. You need to make them to just give you that time slot. That's why I always ask for the bill at the end. Because if not, you're focusing on getting the bill. Don't be focused on getting the bill. Focus on getting that time slot. And this is the last slide I have for you guys. I know it's already 3 minutes over. But get the bill. Once you got that time slot, get the bill. Asking for the bill at the very end takes the desperation out of getting the bill. Because most people are at the door, especially in the beginning. You're waiting, you're trying to get that bill. Get that bill. Can you give me that bill? How about that bill? Forget about bill. You get the bill at the very end. If it turns out they can't find their bill, oh well, at least you got practice and you learn how to set a very solid appointment. Right? You don't ask for a girl for a phone number right when you meet her. Hey, what's up, girl? You're pretty. Give me your number. Doesn't work like that. Ask for the bill in a way that makes it seem like you're helping them out. Okay, perfect, Mr. Homeowner. I got you locked in. Last thing I'll need from you, I got you locked in tomorrow at 6:45. You and your wife. Last thing I'll need from you is your annual kilowatt usage. You happen to know what that is? 99.99% of people don't know what their annual usage is. It's like asking them how many minutes have you. I mean, anybody here, raise your hand if you know how many minutes you used on your cell phone last year. I can almost guarantee you none of you do. Right? But it's not 100% for certain. You will run into accountants or engineers or certain people that are very, very, very. That's why it's not 100% of people don't know it. I have ran into people that do know their annual usage. So don't, but the majority don't know it. So I'll ask her, hey, do you happen to know your annual kilowatt usage? Johnny, you know what? No, I actually don't know it. Don't worry. I can actually get that by taking a peek at your latest utility bill. You paid online or in the mail? I paid online. Perfect. Pull that up real quick. Let's take a peek at it. Don't worry. Yeah. Pull it up. You got the app. Okay, let's pull up the app. Go here. Let's get that. Send me that whole PDF. No screenshots. Send me the whole PDF. Don't worry. There's nothing I can do with your information besides pay your bill. And I promise I'm not out here paying bills. Okay? I let them know. I handle that objection because sometimes they might feel weird. They might want to give you a screenshot. Guys, I don't want a screenshot. Get the whole bill. Sometimes in Edison territory, out here where we're in California, there's different fragmentations. There's some of them are just Edison. Some of them are Edison with Orange County Power Authority, which is selling renewable energy. There's Clean Power Alliance. There's Pomona Clean Energy. And then sometimes if you just get a partial page of the bill, you're not getting the full scope of their situation. I want the whole PDF so I can look at their whole situation. Sometimes they owe money and they feel embarrassed. Sometimes if somebody doesn't want to give you their bill, they might be embarrassed because they owe $5,000, $1,000, $2,000. I had somebody that was for 3 months. I was trying to get their bill. Turns out they were embarrassed because they owed $4,000 and they hadn't told their husband. Right? So hey, don't worry. I'm not going to tell your husband. Right? He's going to find out. Yeah, what it is. It's not my problem. Right? But sometimes there's different reasons why people wouldn't give you a bill. But just make them feel at ease. Don't look. Just pull up your PDF. Perfect. Oh, you paid in the mail? Can you bring that over to me? Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to take a few pictures here. Don't worry. I can't do nothing with this information besides pay your bill. And I'm not paying bills. Not yet. Who knows? Maybe later down the line. Perfect. Boom. If you get pictures of the bill, if it's a physical copy, please take straight photos with the full information. Don't just give me a picture of a graph. Don't just give me a picture of the address. Get the full page as straight as possible so that when we break it down and get the usage, it makes it a lot easier for us. I had somebody that had their dirty ass their finger on it, covering half the photo. Like, bro, what am I supposed to do with this? I want the full picture, clean, as straight as possible, and as many pages as possible. I'd rather have you send me 50 pictures and I have to erase 40 of them than you send me one and then it looks like crap. Send me as many photos as possible. If it's a physical copy, if it's a PDF, get the whole PDF. Don't ask for the bill. We give polite commands. Hey, is it okay if you get that bill for me? Hey, do you mind getting that bill? I asked somebody if they minded one time. Hey, Mr. Guy, do you mind getting that bill for me? Hey, Johnny, as a matter of fact, I do mind. Boom. Never gave me his bill. Never have I asked somebody if they mind. Perfect. You paid online? Do me a favor. Pull up your phone real quick. Yeah, pull it up right here. Yeah, go here, go there. Yeah, that PDF, send me the whole thing. Oh, you're paying in the mail? Go grab this for me real quick, please. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be right here. Boom. Once I grab the bill, perfect, Mr. Homeowner. See you tomorrow, 6:45. I got everything. Any additional questions before I leave? Right? Maybe somebody could have been walking their dogs and they barked and just slightly distracted them. Maybe their kids were yelling and they had to lightly turn away. maybe a loud ass car drove by and distracted them. So you just want to make sure, because sometimes people will ask you, "Hey man, so any questions before I leave, Mr. Homeowner?" "Oh, yeah, really quick. How much do you say this will cost?" Like, I don't want to do this if I had to pay money out of pocket. This happens. Ask again at the end. Any questions? "Oh, yeah, no money down, no money out of pocket. We don't even know if we can do this yet. No biggie, okay? Cool. Any other questions before I head out?" If they ask me specific questions about the solar, that's a great question. I won't know that until I put it together for you. Or, hey, I won't know that. Actually, Westwood, our specialist, will take care of that for you tomorrow at 6:15. Sounds fair? Cool. All right. Goodbye. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Roll out. I think that's it. Okay. Boom. And that's it. That's what I got for you guys. Any questions we got before we roll out?
I have one.
Talk to me.
App goes on your phone that for setting up neighborhoods for solar. Yeah. Isn't there some out there?
What was that?
An app for your phone?
Yeah, I think right now you should be able to get one through Freedom. It's called the Volt app.
Okay.
So, excuse me.
All right.
Yeah, the Volt app, and it should give you homeowners' names and stuff like that. Like I said again, I usually have another app that I have. It's called Land Glide, and it gives me homeowners' names. So okay. I use this to map out an area before I head out. Again, I can talk to anybody in the world. I feel like it, right? But
right.
Wilder Roy L, or is Mr. Garcia who do you think is probably going to respond to me a little bit more, right?
Right.
Mr. Garcia, Mr. Wilder. Now, who knows? Mr. Wilder might be an amazing person. Mr. Garcia, if I see him outside, I'm like, "Hey, pariente, how's it going, paisano?" or whatever. It could be a cultural connection that we make. If it happens and I knock his door, let's say I get a site survey, then I'll go talk to Mr. Wilder. "Hey, Mr. Wilder, I was helping out Mr. Garcia. You guys know each other? Hey, yeah, great guy, whatever, so on and so forth." But I target these homes at least my first go round. And then, Mr. Gerardo Contreras. These are the people that I'm hitting first. Orozco, Pelayo, Jose, right? I might skip over Hendershot because I might not want to get Hendershot, right? But I might skip over some. So I like to use this app and then the Volt app. You should, I don't know who might be able to help you, but somebody should be able to help you get access to that.
I haven't even signed in forever yet. I just signed up with BYLD probably right before I got online with you.
Okay, we'll ask maybe, I don't know if Juan or maybe Jessica or somebody might be able to help you.
I'll get into it. I'll find it. All right. Hey, you done a good job. I appreciate it.
Of course, no problem. Tamika, I see you got your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Sorry I can't be on camera. I'm in a place where you're not supposed to have recording going on. I have a question. So I'm in the Houston, Texas area. This is my actual first training that I actually set in on and was able to take some copious notes. So I was looking at a script, I believe not last week, the week before, when I kind of jumped on briefly. When you're knocking door to door, are you representing yourself as Encore? Because I want to say I saw somewhere else in a scripting where they were so-and-so with so-and-so company, but it didn't say Encore though. It said something else. And I don't know if that was just for the California area, that script was like that. But should I be representing myself as just, Encore? And then my second question to you is, with me being in Texas, how would I go about seeing what are state laws when it comes to door knocking, so I'm not, in trouble, other than the no solicitation sign in somebody's yard?
Great question. So your first question, I always represent myself as Encore. Some people have LLCs or have maybe certain companies that they're under. I just stick to Encore because I have an Encore shirt. We work with Encore Solar.
Okay.
So I always do Encore, and then you can just look up your local jurisdiction. Look up some laws, see if you need some type of permit. Over here where I'm at, and some people don't like it. They'll call the cops on us sometimes, but there's no laws against me going out and door knocking as long as it's in a public place.
Okay.
But some areas might be different, so I'm not familiar, but it would be great to just, whatever city or area you're going to be door knocking in, check out their local laws and see if everything is okay. And just always, everybody in general, just always be respectful.
Right.
You know, no soliciting signs. Sometimes that means that, you know, they've been hit a lot and they're tired of people. Some people might be old. Some people put those signs up because they know they're buyers. And it's like, you come talk to me, I'm going to buy something. Please don't knock on my door, please. But then there's also certain people that bought the home with a no soliciting sign.
Okay.
Right. So, but yeah, just be respectful. Hopefully that helps you out. And if you ever need help as well, feel free to reach out.
Okay. Thank you so much, Johnny.
Will you guys be making it out? Who's ready for Mentor Factory? Everybody got their ticket for Mentor Factory?
Yes, sir. I'll be there tomorrow.
Nice. I love it. Kip, I see you have your hand up as well.
Yes. So I have a few questions. One of the first ones, when technology advances, does the homeowners qualify to like upgrade without affecting their bill still, or without affecting the terms of their current contract if they want to upgrade to like a better system if the technology upgrades? And if that does, like, do they get like a new 25-year guarantee term?
So that's a great question. Typically, the way this will work is, let's say it's 10 years down the line, right? And if something doesn't work, well, it's probably going to be easier for them to upgrade the thing as a whole, right? Unless you're going to look for a, 2018 solar panel, right? And are they out there? I'm sure there are, but depending on the agreement, right? There's like PPAs, they have a 25-year agreement on everything. They're not just going to, if everything's working fine, they're not going to upgrade your whole system just because, right? If everything's working, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if there's issues with it, if they have to upgrade it, then they're going to have to hold up to that agreement. Agreements work both ways, guys. You have to pay your bill, but they also have things that they have to hold up. So if something isn't working, if they have to make some changes and keep your system up, keep it up to par, then they got to do what they got to do.
Okay, so that's not something like, because I was looking at more aspects for the lease option. Because like the lease option, like the way I have my cell phones or the way I do with my vehicle, once, a couple of years go, new whip comes out, like, all right, bet I can just transition to that new one. I was thinking the same thing with the solar panel aspect. If it's a lease option, if new technology comes out to where potentially it's better, the production's better, without using, just basically helping lower with that transition to like a whole new type of system. But you kind of answered it, like, well, if it's not broke, then they're not really going to fix the aspect. But I didn't know if that was pertaining just to like the purchase aspect, or if that's both the lease and the purchase.
Yeah, and the thing with solar is that it's not like it's not like vehicle technology where like every year you're gonna have a new screen or a new this or new that. Solar's a little bit different. Solar hasn't really changed much over the last 20 years. I mean, maybe the aesthetics of it, the inverters still do the same thing. The panels still do the same thing. The newest thing is the batteries, right? But solar hasn't really changed a lot. And there's not moving parts with the solar. It's inverter, panels. You don't got to put all, like cars, it's different because there's a bunch of moving parts, electrical. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Solar's panels, inverter, now battery.
All right, good. Appreciate that. So like for the roof aspect, when we're prospecting and we get kind of engagements to say, okay, their roof really is not in really good condition. When they pull the trigger and decide they do want to go solar, is the roof fixed a part of the deal, or that's added into the contract?
What do you mean if the roof wasn't good?
Yeah, if the roof isn't good and it has to be replaced in order for the solar panels to be on there, is that part of the package as well, and it's fixed within the price, or that's something that they have to fix first, and then we can try to get them to install the solar?
Yeah, we can actually bundle in the roof with the solar.
And by doing that, potentially, does that mess up the flow of like, hey, you won't, you're still gonna be able to save some money, or? Have you seen that in the aspect to where it needs to be replaced, the roof, to get it, and then it still was beneficial for them?
Yeah, I bundled in a lot of roofs before, and depending on the area as well, right? But I bundled in a lot of roofs. There are certain cases where it doesn't benefit a certain homeowner to bundle it in, right? But there's a lot of cases where it does. And if it doesn't benefit them and they just want to get it done on their own, hey, go ahead and do it on your own. I know a lot of roofers here. Call my guy. And that's why it's always good to network, right? Hey, here's my guy. Here's my roofer. Call him. He'll be able to hook you up, give you a quote. But if you want to bundle it in, of course we can bundle it in.
Okay. And then what about when you were talking about them potentially being embarrassed because they may have a bill that they owe and have to tell their spouse or just whatever the case is they owe? Is that something that we can reassure them, like, hey, look, things happen, but moving forward, like we can help take care of that aspect or does that also fix into their contract?
You can, if somebody has an outstanding balance. I tell people pay that off. Sometimes I'll either add a little bit extra to the commission and just take it out of there and give it to them, or I'll take a hit from me and the mentee, or like, hey man, they owe $1,000. Let's from our commission, let's take 500 from you, 500 from me, and let's give them $1,000 cash. Right. So there's different ways of going about it, and it's just as long as you talk to your mentor and your mentor's with it, they'll know how to go about it.
All right, but yeah, that was all the questions. I think you answered about the access to the app. Is basically after we finish the second certification, and we're on the second level to be able to have access to those apps, right?
To the door knocking app?
Yeah.
No, you should be able to get it after certification 1 because you're not really the level 2 is for when you're starting to close on your own. So you should be able to have access to the Volt app. Excuse me. You should be able to have access to that as of right now. I think as long as you did your first certification.
Okay, copy. I'll get with my leadership and see what's up.
Yeah, reach out to your leadership. They should be able to point you in the right direction. Anybody else got any questions for? Those are good questions, by the way. Anybody else have some questions, concerns, anything that I can help you guys out with? Google Pixel 7 Pro. I don't even know who that is, but I saw you had a reaction earlier, which was cool. All right, guys. I hope you got some value from what we shared today. I know we went a little bit over, but like I said, hopefully you guys learned something.
It's awesome training. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. If you guys like what you saw today, do me a favor. Go back to the WhatsApp, show some love on the chat, on the door knocking, and in the main chat. Let them know that they missed out on some free game, man. We're kicking game out here.
Yes, sir. Could you not forget to drop the scripts again
Yes,
through the chat, please?
I'll do that right now because if not, I will forget.
Copy that. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. Go show some love. Let them know your boy Johnny was getting busy, and we kicked some game, and we showed you, and we taught you guys a little something. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.